And we want to welcome everybody here on the Rebels Racing Network to Phoenix International Raceway. We got the Sizzler 100 this evening, and it should be a lot of fun as this is the second round of the playoffs. We have the round of 12, so down to 12 playoff drivers. And here at Legacy Phoenix, it's going to be a tough track for these guys tonight, Jamie.
It is. It's hot. It's Phoenix, flat, fast. These guys are going to have their hands full with these ARCA cars. So look forward to a good race here tonight. As Jonah Colbert right now is sitting on the pole with just a couple minutes left of qualifying.
And looking at these qualifying times and even looking at practice there a little bit, I mean, Phoenix is pretty tricky. You've got different banking in every single corner. You know, 1 and 2 is got a decent amount of banking to it, and guys can lean on that a little bit. And then you go through the dog leg. It's about as wide open as you possibly can, and then you go into a very flat 3 and 4. So you've got to be good at each part of this track in order to bring this car home with a good finish here this evening.
Yeah, you gotta be good at all parts, but 3 and 4 is the key. You gotta be as fast through that and get off of turn 4 as quickly as you can to carry that speed down the front stretch, and that's where you can make your ground up and make some passes.
Yeah, being that we're at Legacy Phoenix here this evening, that start finish line is where it was a few years back. It's on that back straightaway, so it's a little bit different of a strategy of when you come off that corner and what you're racing back towards. And we'll see how these guys navigate the track here this evening, as we've got a really full field here. As we have got, well, I see 23 cars have taken time here this evening.
Yeah, 23 have taken time so far. It looks like they've got 25 in the race. Probably a couple gonna just starting to back, hang out. But yeah, I mean it's good to see they're still getting a lot of guys out here for this ARCA series. The playoffs have started, and sometimes in leagues when guys don't have a shot at the championship, they kind of fold it in for the rest of the season and get ready to start fresh for the next one. But these guys are still showing up, so uh, good for them, and look forward to watching the show they put on for us tonight.
Yeah, it says a lot about what Magic Mike and Hitman Manzo have put together here in this ARCA series. And we talk about it week in and week out. These ARCA cars are not easy to drive. I mean, I'd much rather be behind the wheel of that Xfinity car, a truck, or even the Cup car. These ARCA cars can be an absolute handful. And being here at Phoenix International Speedway and navigating these corners in these hot, slick conditions, I mean, these drivers are going to have a lot to handle.
Yeah, that back end is going to want to switch ends pretty easily on you. I imagine turn 2 is going to be a bear trying to get off that corner fast without either slapping that wall or spinning to the inside there, coming through that short chute. But these guys are up for the task, and we'll see how it all shakes out. Looks like we got just about well, still the two guys are hanging out, and this qualifying is now ended, and they're taking the grid.
As we look at our grid here this evening, we've got Jonah Colbert right now sitting on the pole with a 28.241 in that number 31 JC Motorsports car. So congratulations to him. Garrett Kinder in that number 13 Reaper Racing car coming to his outside. Starting third is Alan Warnecki in that 48. Starting fourth is Josh Thompson in the number 33. Starting fifth is William Griffith in the number 12 in that Dark Horse Motorsports car. To his outside will be Christian Deadman from Reaper Racing. That seems like a little bit of a new name there, Jamie. I don't know that we've seen him out here before, or maybe I just missed him.
Yeah, I think the first time we've seen him in the ARCA. He's usually running in the Sunday Night Truck Series.
Gotcha. Okay. Sell that Reaper Racing. So he decided to come out here and mix it up with these guys. Starting seventh is Aaron Adcock in that number 23 Dark Horse Motorsports. Starting eighth is Todd Schott in that 426 from Dirt Affliction. Starting ninth is Spencer Gay in the number 11 car. Starting 10th is Jason Lottridge in that number 24. Starting 11th is Mickey Isaac in the 01. And riding on our top 12 in the Big Fish Motorsports car is Charles Stevens Jr. in the number 88.
All right, to the inside, starting 13th, number 61 of Jacob Ellingson. Starting 14th, number 75, Charles Feltz. And start 15th, number 99, Brandon Wallace. 16th position, number 71, Eric Burkhalter. Starting 7th, number 44, Phil Hitman Monzo. In the 18th position, number 58, Stephen McDonald. Starting 19th, the number 6 car, Tyler Rice. To his outside in the 20th position, the number 9 of Mike Veith. In the 21st spot, we got the number 55 car, Charlie Gates. His outside, starting 22nd, number 92 of Joaquin Meza. Starting 23rd, the number 35, Kyle Roberts. His outside, the number 77, Magic Mike Uribe. And rounding out the field, the number 111 car of Gene Watkinson, starting 25th. His pace car is now off.
And green flag is out, and we are underway here at the Sizzler 100 from Phoenix International Speedway in the second round of the playoffs for the ARCA Series here. And Jonah Colbert gets a pretty good start there and clears Garrett Kinder as the 48 car tries to make a charge to the inside. Garrett gets that run on the high side, and they are off and running.
Yeah, Jonah really sent it in there into turn 1 to make sure he could clear Garrett there and then let Garrett get that run on the outside. And we've got a clean start throughout the field as we're
throughout the broadcast.
80 laps here tonight.
And throughout the broadcast here this evening, you'll note the playoff drivers are highlighted in green, so we can kind of keep track a little bit of where they're at. As this every week is a cutoff week, and so they will be vying for the next 10 spots, or actually 8 spots heading into Auto Club next week. So we'll keep track of our guys in the playoffs. You watching on the Rebels Racing Network and see where they're at as well.
8 guys vying for a spot to move on next week at Auto Club. That's going to be exciting. Good racing at Auto Club. And it's pressure's going to start building at that point.
Yeah, so they're going to go from, I guess, Jamie, what we'll call it is a short track here at Phoenix. And then we're going to move to the big 2-mile track at Auto Club Speedway. And finally finish up the championship at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, which should just be an absolute great race.
Yeah. See, we got still got some 2-wide racing back in the pack as they've sorted out pretty much single file up front. First 10 positions or so were definitely lined up single file.
So we'll take a look back through the pack here. Todd Schott making a move underneath the 24 car there. Clears him. Well, I would say clears him as the 24 fights back up to the inside there of Jason Lottridge. But Todd Schott sets it down in there. Looks like most everybody, as Charles Stevens Jr. makes a move to the outside there. Now of Jacob Ellingson. Running his patriotic scheme here for this weekend, Memorial Day weekend. So big shout out to him and running that cool paint scheme that we see.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he painted that one himself. It looks really good. He did a good job on that one, Jake.
Yeah, very sharp indeed. We'll check back in up front as Jonah Colbert is coming under fire from Garrett Kinder right now.
Yeah, Garrett's definitely wanting to get out front here and try to lead this thing, but Jonah he's had some rough races here lately, and I think he's happy to just keep that car out front and keep Garrett behind him.
As we've completed now 7 laps that were scheduled, 80 in the Sizzler 100. Jonah Colbert's still out front right now with Garrett Kinder closely behind him. And again, we talked about it when we opened up the broadcast. Racing here at Legacy Phoenix is a little bit different. You don't have the big dog leg runoff that you can, kind of cut the corner a little bit. You really got to keep this car on track and keep it underneath you. And these ARCA cars, again, they're going to be a handful all night long. And we'll have to see as the runs go on how tire wear comes into play and fuel mileage comes into play.
Yeah, I imagine these cars are already probably starting to tighten up a little bit, especially coming off of turn 2. They're going to want to plow to that outside wall. Uh, just got to maintain good throttle control and help your car as best you can, as Jonah's taking a very wide arc into turn 1. Really sends it in there.
Our top 5 cars have kind of pulled away a little bit here from the field, and everybody's really kind of sorted themselves out, got single files. So, as we've seen many weeks, Jamie, once these guys kind of get sorted out.
Got a car on the wall now. I'm not sure who that was. They were trying to tear that thing down.
Well, it's easy to do here at Phoenix. You know, you get into one of these corners a little bit too deep, or try to, drive off a little bit too much, and you will get into the wall quickly. I know I've met the wall here at Phoenix more than one occasion.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. The fine line getting into turn 3 here at Phoenix. If you're slow, you're basically throwing your lap away, and if you get in too hot, you're going to be in that wall in the middle of 3 and 4.
As we see our front 2 runners taking a little bit different lines through the corner, Garrett is definitely getting his car a little bit lower than Jonah, especially through 3 and 4. So a little bit different strategies. And again, we'll have to see how that plays out when it comes to tire wear. Oh, and Garrett really sends it into 3 that time. I really think he is one to take control of this race.
He is, but if you'll notice, Jonah really takes a big arc in that. Well, now they kind of reverse it. Jonah got down to that yellow line. He had been taking a big arc, and then Garrett kind of took a bigger arc on that lap. And Garrett is he's all over the bumper now.
Yeah, he is. We got 13 laps into this run so far. Some of the tire wear and tire strategy and what line you're driving is really going to start to show up. And he is giving Jonah Colbert all he can handle right now.
Both of them are getting ready to deal with the lap car of, looks like Gene Watkinson. Well, he's not a lap car yet. He just gives way to the leaders.
Oh, and I really thought Garrett kind of put his nose underneath Jonah just for a second as they were trying to deal with that lap traffic. So, but they get it all sorted out, and we are still underway here. But man, that looked awful close, Jamie.
Yeah, it did. But I think sometimes, I know Gene Watkinson was just trying to give them the room to race, but sometimes when you drastically slow like that, you can really kind of create more problems. It's better just to maintain your pace and let the leaders get around you. But they got by. It was okay. It was close, but we're still racing here. So.
Yeah, and I've seen that before too. Sometimes these guys, they don't want to affect the playoffs at all, or the playoff drivers. Just want to get out of the way. And a lot of times, especially when I'm behind the wheel of the car, lap cars or whatever it is, just run your line and we'll make our way around it. These guys are still battling strong here. And, oh my goodness. Man, they are getting close, Jamie.
They are. I mean, Garrett is, well, he's sticking his nose to the inside of Jonah, trying to take that position away as they come through the dog leg into turn 3. We'll see if Jonah can make that high side work on the exit of turn 4 and get that run down the front stretch. And they're door to door. They cross the line.
Man, I mean.
Jonah really likes to take that high arc, and look at the run he gets. Oh, wow. That was a nice move right there. Did he set that up? He set that up with his entry into turn 1. He slung that back end out on that high side, that high arc that he took, and he just got to drive off. That was impressive, Jonah.
Yes, these front two guys are really putting on a show right now. And we go a little way back here, and we'll kind of go through the field a little bit, check in with some of our drivers. And Alan Wernicke right now sitting in third place and having himself a good race right now. Comfortably sitting there right now, no pressure from behind, and really probably hoping that these front two drivers start to mix it up a little bit so he can get up there. Head back to our fourth place car of William Griffin with that number 12. Again, having himself a solid run, kind of out there by himself right now. Josh Thompson in that number 33, sitting back in fifth position. And that good wrench almost looks like a Dale Earnhardt throwback type scheme there. Aaron Adcock in the 23 car sitting back in sixth. Christian Deadman, again, I think this is the first time that we've seen him out here in the number 3 car. Having himself a good race right now, down one position from where he started, but still solidly within the top 10. Spencer Gay, one of our playoff drivers in that old Daytona racing paint scheme, the Hornet, that number 11 car, sitting in 8th position. Mickey Isaac in that 01 sitting back here in 9th, and Charles Stevens Jr. up a couple of positions from where he started, rounding out our top 10. And we'll go take a look at Jacob Ellison again in that cool paint scheme that he put together. I don't think you could scream America more than that right there, Jim.
Absolutely not. And now that we've talked about Jacob Ellison again and his nice paint scheme, Pat, you know what time it is?
Oh, I think I know what it is, Jamie.
Think you know? Think you know? All right, yes, it is. It is time for Mama Ellingson's Short Track Showcase. And this week, we're not really going to necessarily talk about any specific track or driver, but there is a situation going on in short track racing that's affecting tracks all over the country. Apparently, the same people that bought up all your toilet paper and most recently all your gas are now involved with buying up all the tires. So, there is a tire shortage when it comes to your local short track. Mainly, it's affecting a lot of companies, but mainly Hoosier, since they are the biggest supplier for both asphalt and dirt short tracks. They are really under the gun right now to meet the needs of all the local tracks. And honestly, it's not really just local tracks. It's also affecting national touring series like the Midwest Modified Tour as well. According to Hoosier, they are working 6 days a week, 24 hours, all those 6 days, and they're producing more tires than they have ever produced in the history of their company, but they're still failing to meet the needs. And the reason being is people are buying up excessive amounts of tires. One track put in an order for 800 tires for a series that they normally only have 12 drivers show up for. They made the claim to Hoosier that they were going to expect it to have 40 cars for this one particular weekend. And the director of asphalt competition at Hoosier actually called him on it, and he said, "I'll tell you what," he said, "if you get 40 cars there, I'll give you $2,000. And if you have fewer than 40 cars, you got to pay me $2,000. At that point in time, they cut their order down to about 200 tires. And the Midwest Tour Series, Modified Tour Series, they placed an order for 400 tires. And after their race was done for the weekend, they'd only used about 120 tires. So, please, all you toilet paper hoarders and gas guzzlers, leave the tires alone. There is not a tire shortage, okay? You don't have to stockpile your Hoosier tires. Just leave it alone and quit interfering with the good old boys on their Friday and Saturday nights, please. And that's our Mama Ellingson's Short Track Showcase for this Friday night.
I have no idea where you find this stuff, Jamie, but that is probably one of the most hilarious stories I've heard in a while.
You know, it's just the times we live in now, and it's kind of ridiculous. You know, I don't know where people come up with their ideas and stuff, but you know, we may have problems in this country, but manufacturing goods and services is not one of those problems.
No, sir.
Oh, please, stop hoarding. There's no need, okay?
Stop going to the gas station with your plastic bags.
Yes, yes. Or apparently buying up Hoosier race tires to fill them with gas. I don't know what you're doing with all these tires,
I
people.
don't, yeah,
Leave
I
them
don't.
alone.
Uh, I, I
And
still got a race to call here, man.
we do. And as we continue, Jonah Colbert continues to lead this with Garrett Kinder all over his back bumper. And it looks like we've got some cars starting to head to pit road. Looks like the window is opened.
Yeah, and Alan Wernicke is now really pulled up to this top two and making this a heck of a race right now. So we've got 3 cars right now underneath the blanket, and we are 30 laps into our scheduled 80 this evening. And I don't know that we're going to come up with much better stories than what you just came up with, Jamie, but we'll try to top it, but I don't think we're going to. So,
Oh, we got to spin. We got to spin. Caution is out. We got to spin. They're going into turn 3. I'm not exactly sure who that was. I'll leave that up to you, Pat, to find that.
yeah, I'll take a look back here. Is trying to find is Brandon Wallace is all smashed up down on the inside wall of that Skull car and the 99 Skull car. So obviously he got a part of this somehow, some way, because that car is all kinds of messed up right now. And we see that Magic Mike kind of went off a little bit as well. So we'll go back live here. But tough break for that 99 car, as that car is all kinds of tore on. It looks like all of our leaders are coming down pit road right now, Jimmy.
Yeah, and Brandon Wallace is one of the playoff contenders, so hopefully he'll be able to get in and use that fast repair and get that car back out there and try to salvage his night and move on to Auto Club next week, still in this playoff hunt.
Take a look at our leaders coming down pit road. We'll have to see who wins our race off the pit road here.
Looks like everyone to the top 3 got into their pits cleanly. We'll see if the crews can step it up and get either one of the 3 extra. Well, I guess it'd be Garrett or Allen. Oh, and it looks like Garrett. Oh, well, Jonah came back and beat him to the line. Thought Garrett might sneak away and take their lead away from him on pit road.
Great race. They all dropped the jack at the same time and took off. And as we are now completed 32 laps of our scheduled 80 this evening. That was a pretty long run for these guys here at Phoenix International Speedway. So we'll have to see as they line back up here again. What these new tires are going to do is now everybody's going to have that brand new set of tires and be able to get out here and battle again. Is that number 35 car? I've really got to pull this car up. Where is he sitting? Kyle Roberts. If you have not seen the 35 car of Kyle Roberts, you are missing out on kittens and rainbows and purple tires, and it just makes you smile, Jamie.
Kyle, what are you doing? Is that a Kyle Busch signature on that quarter panel?
I'm not sure.
I mean,
that is a paint job, Jamie.
What is it? Is this like? Oh, wow. Is this like a, you know how in like schools, elementary schools, they paint the walls, you know, certain colors to keep the kids more mellow, right? Because you don't want, you know, if you make them bright colors, it makes them more, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, they get more
agitated. Yeah.
You know, this is his ploy to lull the field to sleep, I guess, maybe. And
I'm going to give him a lot of credit, because if you look at the rainbow on the quarter panel, it wraps the back wheel.
Yeah.
I mean, so...
there's clouds on either side of it.
Yeah, so for kittens and rainbows and clouds and feel good, Kyle, you win the prize this evening.
And I mean, and who would want to run into that?
That's true. I mean...
Yeah.
I'm sure you'd have to answer to somebody for that if you ran into the rainbow and kitten car.
Yeah. That's cool, Kyle. I like it.
These are good drivers, man. Never a dull moment around here.
Absolutely not. But again, this second week in a row that I'm not seeing our food cars. And green flag is back out.
And Jonah Colbert gets an outstanding jump there as Alan Winicky now looks to the inside of Garrett Kinder. Garrett Kinder is going to get that great run off the top side, coming out of 2 and be able to maintain that second position. As we are now looking at William Griffith that is making a charge to the outside of Alan Winicky.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised to see them being able to get the big run on the outside there through 1 and 2. Oh.
As William Griffith gets into the wall there a little bit, trying to hold that outside line. It just ran out of room there and meets the Phoenix wall.
Garrett has got a run on Jonah now.
Oh, that is got a big run. Is going to try to hold the, and Jonah throws it down into the corner and is able to make that low side work and pulls away from Garrett. These two drivers have really been putting on a show this evening. A lot of back and forth, and really it's just been and Garrett gets the wall coming out of 2. It's really just been a lot of Garrett trying to figure out a way to get around Jonah.
Yeah, and that's why I was just saying, I'm surprised to see them getting such big runs on the outside with 1 and 2, because usually if you're on the outside there at turn 2, you're going to get that wall. But so far, these guys have made it work and have been able to make up some time and make passes using that outside lane there.
Yeah, we got a car very slow on the back stretch there.
Is that Magic Mike? I can't.
And he's up into the wall right now. I'm not sure who that is. Yeah, and they had to throw the caution for that, because no way that car was getting down to pit road, as it looked like it had a tire kicked out sideways and everything else. And I'm trying to find out who that was.
I think it was Magic Mike. I'm not 100% sure.
As he's made it down to pit road, and it definitely was Magic Mike. I'm pretty sure he had to tow that car, as the right front looked like it was not pointed in the right direction at all.
Yeah, I don't know when the damage occurred, but when he went into turn 3, that tire was already been out on the car. The car just shot straight up into the wall. All he was doing was holding on at that point.
So it looks like all our leaders are going to stay out, as we've only been underway here for a couple laps, so not surprising, as we are halfway through the Sizzler 100 and the second playoff race for the ARCA Menard Series here, hosted by the original Rebels League. And you've got Pat and Jamie here in the booth for the Rebels Racing Network. And so far, Jamie, man, they have been putting on a great show here at Phoenix.
Yeah, they have. We had a long green flag run to start this race off. What was it, 33 laps, something like that. Let's hope that cautions don't breed cautions. Let's gather this thing back up and get back to racing how we were for the first run. As the lucky dog comes around, get back on the lead lap.
We've got a group of our playoff drivers that are sitting 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th right now. With the Hitman sitting back in 19th. So there's a couple of these playoff drivers that are really going to have to hustle up and make their way up through the field if they're going to be in that round of 8 coming up next week at Auto Club.
Yeah, for sure. As Magic Mike continues to sit in his pit stall. Not even sure if they're working on that car. He might have just hung it up after that.
I definitely think he had to tow, and if they're done towing that car to pit road, I'm sure there were a lot of repairs that needed to happen, because the tires were not pointed in the right direction.
No, definitely not. But as we run right now, it looks like Mickey Isaac is the cutoff to move on in the playoffs, with Brandon Wallace right behind him, and he would be the 9th driver, and he's got Tyler Rice right behind him. So actually we got 4 playoff drivers right there running 13th through 16th. So we'll have to keep an eye on that battle to see how that's going to shake out and who's going to move on and join these other 7 drivers into Auto Club next week.
It should be interesting to see how this plays out. I mean, we're past halfway, so these guys understand what their cars are going to do. Not only on the long runs there, as we saw to kind of start the race off, but they've gotten a feel a little bit for the short run too. And some of those guys that are sitting back there in those positions, 13th through 16th, they're going to have to get up and pull those seat belts a little bit tighter and get those elbows out. And get up there if they're going to make this next round of the playoffs. As the lights are out on the pace car, we're going to get ready to go back green here shortly. Jonah Colbert's got the start here, so we're going to jump inside his car for the start of this. And he takes off, getting through the gears here. Clears Garrett Kinder and off down into turn 1, and see him sawing that wheel back. Smooth on the throttle, gets up on that flat spot off of 2, down through the dog leg. Sends it off into turn 3, and again, you can almost watch him counter steering that car.
We'll see if they. Oh, so far they've gathered it up. No caution.
Yeah, and that is a lap. I didn't see, as we were taking a ride there with our leader Jonah Colbert. Not sure what happened back there in the pack, but we remain under green. I think this is one of the bigger leads we've seen Jonah have. So Garrett must not have got the greatest of starts there.
Well, he had Alan Warnecki was able to time his start along with Jonah, so he definitely was door to door with Garrett the whole way that first lap. So that allowed Jonah to move out, take a little bit bigger lead here. I'd like to point out, I'm not sure what happened or why, but Eric Burkhalter in the 71 car has been disqualified from the race, and he is one of the playoff contenders. So nice. That is some big news occurring right now. I don't know why. Maybe I can reach out to Magic Mike and see if he'll let us know.
Yeah, definitely have to check into that one, because I don't think these guys have incident point cutoffs or anything along those lines. So it is a very, very, very rare occasion to have a car disqualified, especially a playoff car. Continuing around here, we're coming up on 48 laps complete of our scheduled 80 laps here this evening in the Sizzler 100. Been a great race so far here at Legacy Phoenix International Speedway. These ARCA Series drivers really putting on a good show. It's been all Jonah Colbert from the drop of the green flag. He has gotten a challenge from Garrett Kinder on many different occasions. Garrett just hasn't quite figured out how to get around him. And then Alan Warnecki is back in 3rd place, who's been lurking the entire time. And at the end of that green flag run to start the race, Alan had really pulled up to these top 2 drivers and was looking to challenge also for the lead of this race. So depending on, how this race finishes out, and if we see any more cautions here, I'd be interested to see how if we can get a long green flag run here to the end. Whether or not Jonah can keep that car underneath him, or one of these other guys are able to move their way up and through.
Yeah, it looks like the whole field has settled back down, and we've got the look of another long green flag run ahead of us here.
Yeah, as we look back through the field here a little bit, we see Charles Stevens Jr. in that number 88 car, up 8 positions from where he started. Sitting in 4th position right now, another one of our playoff drivers. So wanting to have a great run here this evening so he can continue his run through the playoffs. As we look back here now, Spencer Gay sitting back in 6th position, up 3 positions from he started. Again, another one of our playoff drivers, having a pretty solid run here this evening. And I tell you what, Jamie, that number 61 car of Jacob Ellickson is having himself a good night. He is up 6 positions from where he started, now sitting in 7th. As he's getting challenged now by William Griffin in that 12 car. And the minute I mentioned his name, Jamie, he gets up into the wall.
Oh my goodness. Come on, Jacob. Keep it together. Can't be messing up that paint scheme.
No, sir. Aaron Adcock, another one of our playoff drivers that really haven't had a chance to call his name too much tonight. Sitting back in 9th position, down a couple spots from where he started, but having a good, solid night here. Maintaining his position to hopefully be able to transfer over into the next round of the playoffs. So now we take a look at Todd Schott sitting back in 10th position in that 426 car. Mickey Isaac sitting back at 11th right now, having himself a pretty solid night. As we've seen Mickey week in and week out, just having quiet evenings. This is another one of those nights where just very steady and very consistent, staying out of trouble, and now finds himself with a top 10 position.
Yeah, he's usually pretty quiet until it's time to start handing out those race checks, and then he finds himself up the front of that line, waiting to cash his. So we'll see if he can make his way through the field here and pick up some spots.
Yeah, Brandon
moved into the top 10, just as we've talked about him.
And Brandon Wallace is now sitting back in 14th position. Another one of our playoff drivers. Stephen McDonald, which we haven't talked about this evening. And that 58 car, again, another one of the playoff drivers having a decent evening. He's up 5 spots from where he started, sitting in 13th right now. So, not doing too bad. Tyler Rice, another car that we haven't had a chance to call this evening. Another one of our playoff drivers in that Sunny D car. Sitting back in 16th position, up 3 spots from where he started. Man, a couple of these guys that are back here are going to need to figure out where the speed is at if they're going to be in this round of 8 next week.
Yeah, and as we're running right now, Brandon Wallace in the 99 is the cutoff to move on. So that leaves Tyler Rice, Hitman Monzo, and, well, obviously Eric Burkhalter, his night is done. They are on the outside looking in.
Yeah, as we go back and look at our favorite former Marine, Chuck Pegleg Feltz in that 75 car, sitting back in 17th position. Back in 18th position is Joaquin Meza in that number 92. Having himself an okay night. There's the Hitman, sitting back in 19th position, and then rounding out our top 20 is Mike Faith in that number 9 McDonald's car. We'll go back up front and check in with our race leader, Jonah Colbert.
Jonah continues to maintain about that 0.3 of a gap lead on Garrett Kinder. It really hasn't changed much. Alan Warnicki is slid back a little bit, but he really made his run late in the first run. When it came towards the end, that's when his car started coming to him, and he made his move towards the front. So we'll see how that works out for him on this one.
Yeah, we'll watch the lap times of our 2 leaders here. Yeah, Garrett, I think, tried to get a little too much out of 3 and 4 there and pushed up. But I mean, they are trading hundredths of a second right now. Over the past 5 laps, Jonah Colbert's been just a tad bit faster each and every lap. So we'll have to see if Garrett can put something together, get those tires cooled back off, and try to make another charge here. As we are winding down the laps here tonight at the Sizzler 100, we are coming up to 21 laps to go. Wasn't the Sizzler a restaurant, Jamie?
Well, that was the first thing that came to my mind when I was told the name of this race. Yeah, Western Sizzler.
Yeah. That's some pretty good steaks, if I remember.
You know, I mean, I don't, by today's standards, I don't know if they were really all that great, but, you know, pretty cool. I always thought it was cool when, you know, they gave you that little number and you went and sat at your table and put that number out there, and then they came and they brought you your order after everything was put together.
Yeah. As the 111 car is slow down on the apron right now. Not real sure what's going on with him or if he's just trying to stay out of the way, but he is incredibly slow down here. Unless these drivers know what's going on, as he goes through the dog leg, still incredibly slow, Jamie. I don't know if he's down on power, ran out of fuel. It sounds like the car is running, but he is really, really slow. And he continues to lap around. He doesn't bring it down pit road, so not sure what's going on there, Jamie.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden he hits the brakes going down the front stretch. I don't know if anybody's got a field sobriety test, but or a breathalyzer, but we might need to give it to the 111 car right now. I'm not really sure what's going on, and because now it seems like he's back up to speed-ish. All right, well, back up front here, Jonah Colbert still continues to lead as we have got 18 laps to go here, and Garrett Kinder is still trying to make a charge to get up to his rear bumper.
Garrett has closed the gap a little bit, as has Alan Warnecki. He's starting to rebound now after falling back a little bit from the leaders.
Yeah, that last lap, Garrett Kinder was 2/10 faster than Jonah Colbert, so Garrett has definitely found some speed here. He's making a charge, and he is going to get a heck of a run coming off the floor right now, and he is there, Jamie.
Yeah, and he's got that outside line, which he's been able to make work other times in this race where he gets a really good run, and we'll see how Jonah handles this.
As Jonah's got nothing for him. Garrett clears him going down into 3. And I have to imagine this is about the time of the green flag run last time where Alan Warnecki started to pick up the pace a little bit, and so did Garrett Kinder. So I think a little bit different tire strategy here as they were saving a little bit of tire. And that's what moves Garrett Kinder out to the front.
Still got a ways to go here, and I don't think Jonah's just going to let Garrett just have this one. They've got a lap car that they've now got to deal with. Looks like everybody's going to get by cleanly.
As we've got 14 laps to go, and we got a caution that has come out.
Try to talk me through what's going on again.
And Jacob Ellingson has gone off the track, so let's go back and try to take a look here. As it looks like he had gotten spun around, and that car is all kinds of wadded up, Jamie. He has got left rear damage and left front damage, so he's definitely going to bring that car down pit road and get it fixed up. As he has spun that car, and that's what brings out our caution here this evening. So I'd have to imagine it is going to be feeding time on pit road.
Well, check that out. Jacob Ellingson even has the American flag as his pit board. That is pretty cool. I felt like I should have stood up as he drove by, but I can't really move too well in this new rig.
Sounds like a first world problem there, Jamie. As our leaders come down pit road, I have a lot of first world problems too. And Alan Warnecki stays out.
Alan.
I am not real sure on that call.
That is not going to work out the way you hoped, Alan.
I don't think that it is, because he's going to be on 37 lap older tires than really the rest of the field came down pit road.
Yeah, he is going to be a sitting duck especially when Garrett and Jonah start this race. I mean, he will have control of the restart as the leader, but I just don't. It's not going to be enough.
Garrett Kinder beats everybody off pit road with a great stop at a 14.4. And Jonah Colbert with a 14.8. William Griffith with a 9.7. So that's got to be a two-tire stop there as these laps are winding down. Every week, Jamie, I swear I'm going to English correctly, and every week I fail at it. But we keep the masses entertained. And Charles Stevens with a 15.1, Mickey Isaac with a 10.8. So a couple guys taking two tires here, try to gain a little bit of track position, especially some of these playoff drivers. So we'll have to see how this works out. As Alan Warnicki is not one of our playoff drivers, so I think he is just taking the gamble to see if he can't steal a win.
Yeah, I could live with the two-tire stop much better than I could with not taking tires here.
It looks like Todd Shop as well has stayed out in that 426 car. So we got a couple drivers that have stayed out. Our leaders, playoff drivers, most of them came down pit road, grabbed 4 fresh tires. For guys like Garrett Kinder and Jonah Colbert, made a lot of sense. Don't take any gambles right now. You've been out front all night long. Get you 4 fresh tires and maintain that. I mean, we're going to get the green flag. 9 laps to go here, it looks like. It's going to be interesting with a couple of cars now out front that are on very old tires.
And let's hope they get away cleanly on the start and they don't spin their tires and cause problems for this whole field. Because there will not be anywhere to go here at Phoenix if they have an issue. It's going to be a big pileup. We don't want to see that. It's been a really good race, really clean race up to this point. We definitely don't want to see any playoff drivers get caught up in something like that.
Well, so it's going to be really a matter of who can navigate the traffic a little bit better, whether it's Garrett Kinder or Jonah Colbert, to get their car back up front. As we got 2 cars, Alan Warnicki and Todd Schott, on some old tires right now. So that pace car is pulled off, and we're going to get back underway.
Ready, green flag.
Green flag is out, and Alan Warnicki gets a heck of a start. Garrett Kinder is able to keep Todd Schott to his outside, so almost set a little bit of a pick as Jonah Colbert is trying to get down there, but just can't do it. Garrett gets a little bit loose there.
Luckily, Todd Schott backs out of it as they go through the dog leg, or they would have been 3 wide, and we've got a spin. Looks like
Aaron Adcock is. We'll go back and take a look here.
Couldn't tell if that was 32 or 23. I guess we don't have a 32 in the field, so it must have been Aaron Adcock.
Yeah, I'm trying to take a look here, and we'll find it here shortly. As they get, oh yeah, it's 23 and 33, just both of them trying to fill the same space going down into 3, and it just didn't work out. Tough break there for Aaron Adcock, another one of our playoff drivers.
It is, and right now he is now on the outside looking in. That's going to move Tyler Rice into the cutoff position.
These late race cautions are going to play havoc on the playoffs, and that is a tough break there.
Yeah, it is. I'm sure Aaron was so close he could taste it. Was probably feeling pretty good about his chances to move on. It's going to be tough. He's not going to have many laps left here when this goes back to green in order to make up the ground.
Yeah, I'd imagine they're going to take the green flag with about 4 or 5 laps to go, and that is not a whole lot of time.
No.
But our top 2, our 2 drivers that have been in the front all night long, Garrett Kinder and Jonah Colbert, are going to start 2nd and 3rd. So, and Alan Warnicki still is going to have control of this restart. And as we saw in that last one, he got himself a heck of a jump and was able to maintain the lead. As long as we continue to catch some of these quick cautions, he's got a shot at this, Jamie.
Yeah, he might make a liar out of me again. And this no tire strategy may actually pay off for him. I was shocked to see him be able to get the launch that he did without spinning the tires. That was pretty impressive. So, if he can beat Jonah and Garrett into turn 1, he's got a good shot to lead that lap. So he's only going to have to hold on for a few more.
There's not going to be many laps to go. That is for sure. And again, some of these playoff drivers had some tough nights. And every time we get one of these restarts, I'm sure their stress levels go through the roof. They don't want to see any cars, getting sideways in front of them. And they don't want anybody trying to dive bomb them and get any positions. They just want to be able to make it through this cleanly and bring the car home and get to that round of 8 in Auto Club next week.
Yep, and we haven't talked about him for a little bit now, but look who is knocking on the door of that top 5.
Old Mickey Isaac.
Yep, I think somebody told Mickey dispersing was open and checks were getting ready to be handed out, and he said, "I'm coming to get mine, fellas."
He does it every week. Again, just very quiet, very consistent, stays out of trouble. And end of every week, we end up finding that 01 car up front and finds himself solidly in the top 10, sitting in 6th position. Starting on the outside this time, so we'll have to see how he does with that. He's going to have another playoff driver, Charles Stevens, to his inside. Spencer Gay, one of our other playoff drivers, is going to be restarting 10th with Brandon Wallace at 11th. We're going to have. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be 4 laps to go, and it is anybody's race at this point in time. And I know these playoff drivers are really getting antsy to get this thing finished up.
They are, and 10th through 13th, we got 4 playoff drivers. All 4 of them right now as we run are in the show for next week. Those 4 do not need to do anything to be greedy or anything else. Just finish out this race and don't worry about racing each other because you're in the show.
And Alan Winecki holds it a little bit longer in the restart box, gets a good start there. And now Jonah Colbert is looking to the inside of Garrett Kinder. Garrett, he's wiggling that car coming off the 2, but is able to stay in front of Jonah Colbert. And is now going to try to get up there and get past Alan Winecki as he sends it down to the inside and gets it to the side of Alan. And
No caution.
Yeah, as Alan kept that car together. It looks like he's got a tire down at this point in time.
Caution's out now. I'm not sure what it's out for.
I think it's down. I think it came out for Alan Winecki as he looked like he had a left front tire down. And I mean, that's tough, JD. That's tough right there with Garrett Kinder on those fresh tires. He sent it down there into 3. And Alan Winecki did give him a whole lot of room, but Alan doing everything he could to be able to win this race. And they ran out of room and got together and looked like it cut down the left front of Alan and sent Alan up into the wall.
Yeah, I mean, Alan was leading this race. There was no room for him to have to give. It was a very aggressive move. I don't know. We're late in this race, so I guess you got to get what you can get when you can get it. But I think with those 4 tires, Garrett was going to have more opportunities to make that pass.
This will more than likely bring us to a green-white checkered. And I'd have to imagine all our drivers are going to stay out here. No reason to give up any type of track position. And we'll have a green-white checkered to battle this thing out.
Hopefully, Garrett and Jonah will put on the same show that Eddie Smith and Trevor McManus put on last night in the Goat Locker Racing Truck Series at Bristol. Those guys put on a clinic with that green-white checker.
Yes, they
Eddie
did.
Smith was able to edge out Trevor for the win. But hats off to both of those guys with the effort they made and kept it clean.
Yeah, it was a heck of a race last night with the Goat Locker Racing Series. those boys put on a clinic when it came to green-white checker. Just as aggressive as they could be, but raced each other with a lot of respect. And I expect the same here. All the ARCA races we've seen, a lot of these guys race each other with a lot of respect, battle hard each and every evening. So it's always great to watch these guys. Always a good time to call it from the booth. And we do need to see our boy, our main man, Davy Jones, back out here. And Davey, if you happen to be listening to the race, be more than happy to welcome that DoorDash guy back to my house again with a crave case of White Castles.
I believe Dave Jones has been on vacation. I believe he's been camping for the last 2 weeks. That's why he hasn't been here. But speaking of Dave Jones, was just signed on today to be the third driver for Goat Locker Racing in the Rebels Truck Series.
Yeah,
So
cannot wait.
Yeah, but I didn't tell him that the cost is a sack of White Castles every Sunday night. So.
It sounds like one of those evil challenges, you know, like, I don't know. I mean, we were both in the Navy long time ago, and all kinds of drinking challenges and all kinds of crazy stuff. But it's like, who could eat a crave case of White Castle and actually make it through a race without, you know, having to run to the bathroom? We can call it the, I don't know, the brown sugar challenge.
But yeah, Davey Jones, we're glad to have you on board, and looking forward to racing with you on Sunday nights in that Rebels Racing
Absolutely.
Truck Series.
Yep, as the lights are out on the pace car, and we're going to settle this under green-white checkered conditions. As Garrett Kinder is going to have control of this restart with Jonah Colbert, who's outside. Todd Schott starting in third position. Charles Stevens in fourth, and Mickey Isaac rounding out our top five. He wasn't only knocking on the top five, he is now there.
See how this restart goes. Garrett will have control of this field once the pace car pulls off. It's up to him when he decides to go. And
he is gone. Great start from Garrett Kinder here. Clears everybody pretty handedly. I'd imagine Jonah Colbert is going to make it past Todd Schott because Todd Schott is on those old tires. And Jonah Colbert gets a heck of a run through 1 and 2.
He's coming. He's coming for Garrett. He's not wanting to finish second here tonight.
Oh, as Todd Schott gets up into the wall.
We're going to do it again. Several cars were in the wall going into turn 4.
That's weird. And Todd Schott is still in the wall. But gets that car straightened up. Yep, we are going to line him back up and try this again. Kind of take a look back through the field here a little bit and see where everybody's at. Wernicki now sitting back in 17th spot, so I'm sure he's hoping he can at least make up a few positions there. And again, that's a tough deal there. Him being on older tires, and Garrett Kinder being on newer tires, and it just ran out of real estate there. Tough break for him. I think is it 2 or 3 shots at a green-white checker, Jamie?
I think it's 2.
Okay.
I think it's 2. And as we run right now, Stephen McDonald in 58 is the cutoff for the playoffs to move on to round of 8. But you've got Spencer Gay, Stephen McDonald, Aaron Adcock, and Phil Monzo all running right there together. So
this is going to be a battle.
Yes, it is.
As we see, it looked like Jake Ellens had got the lucky dog there, and he's coming around, but I think he's a couple laps down at this point in time. So, and again, Mickey Isaac sitting there solidly in 5th position in the 01 car. That battle is really going to be that 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th position. and 15th between those playoff drivers. Who's going to make it in and who's going to get left behind?
And the lights are off on the pace car. The field is coming out of turn 2 right now, so we'll be going back to green flag racing here, and hopefully we'll run out this green-white checkered and get this race finished under green and see if Jonah's got anything left for Garrett.
It's been those two drivers all night long, and not surprising to see here on this green-white checkered. It's going to be these two drivers again. Garrett going to have control of this restart, so it's going to be a matter of if Jonah can time it a little bit better and then be able to get to the back bumper there of Garrett and do something with him. As he's laying back there a little bit, gets kind of cinched up.
I guess I was mistaken there. I thought the lights were off. Apparently they're not. They are now, so we will get back to racing this lap.
Got a few of these drivers in Todd Schott, I mean, still on those old tires, and even after bouncing off the wall a couple times, he still has kept that car in fourth position. So he's really wanting to finish out tonight with a good finish. So we'll have to see as he continues to battle some of these guys on newer tires. As our pace car is getting ready to pull off here, and we're getting ready to settle this race for the final time.
As the pace car pulls off, Garrett will have control of the field. He can restart when he chooses to, but this time he held Jonah down a little bit longer than he did the first time around. And that's going to bring Charles Stevens up to the inside of Jonah Colbert.
Oh, Charles Stevens sent it, but kind of backed out of it a little bit. Yeah.
And we're wrecking. That's going to be it. Garrett Kinder's going to win this race under caution.
Tough break as Aaron Adcock looks like he wrecked yet again. So that is, we've got 3 cars. We'll go back and take a look at that again. Golly, and the number 9 car comes sliding down. It looks like the 6, 11, and 23 all get together. I believe those are all 3 playoff cars, aren't they, Jamie?
Yes, they are. And a little bit different from what we talked about earlier, though. That time, that group of 4, 2 of them were in, 2 of them were not. So you know there was going to be some aggression from the other 2. I don't know that that's what caused it, but you know something was definitely going to be brewing there. Because you're not just going to roll over when you're that close and not make it into the playoffs. So
as that 11 car is, the wheels are not pointed in the right direction or anything, but he's still trying to lap around in hopes of still trying to make the playoffs here. So the checkered flag is out, and Garrett Kinder is our winner.
And as of right now, unless there's something different with points or something that I'm not aware of, but Tyler Rice should be the final driver to move on to Auto Club Speedway next week for the round of 8. And that moved that last caution. That moved Phil Monzo up to 11th spot, and he will move on.
Outstanding. Good for you, Phil. Good night. You know, being able to survive here a little bit. As Garrett Kinder is trying to do a burnout, I think. There he goes. He's putting on a pretty good show for the fans here. Nice long burnout down the front stretch. Whips it back around here. Apparently he's going to continue to burn him down.
Yeah, Garrett spends a lot of time.
Nope.
Oh, he
Yep.
ain't gonna be burning them down no more.
Nope. And here they
Oh.
come. Yeah, those. Oh, and here
Yeah.
comes another car. And no. The Crash Up Derby has begun.
Yeah.
I think
Garrett was definitely put on a nice show with his burnouts. Once again, he shows how much time and effort he spends into practicing his burnouts. He had a nice little crab walk going. As Demolition Derby continues on the front stretch.
Let's grab our race winner, Garrett Kinder, and bring him up here in the booth. These guys are too much, man. Oh, there we go, right there. Hey, Garrett, it's Matt and Jamie up in the booth. You got a copy, brother?
Ooh.
Oh, one heck of a race this evening. You and Jonah Colbert all night long going back and forth and back and forth. Then it came down to grabbing some fresh tires there at the end and battling a couple guys that were on some older tires. So take me through your race this evening and how you brought that number 13 car home with the win.
Man, it was an absolute blast. Right off the bat, shout out to Jonah. Like you said, man, we were duking it out from the drop of the green flag, and it was an absolute blast. So big shout out to him. Car felt pretty good. Normally at Phoenix, this wrecking loose all the time, and you're just trying to hang on for dear life after you get about 15 laps on tires. But amazingly, it felt really good for probably 90% of those runs and the longer runs we had. And then it started to push a little tight. I think I was cooking my right front just a little bit, but just kind of trying to keep Jonah in sight because, like I said, he was a rocket tonight. I got lucky and got on his outside on old tires. Once tires got old, that was the only way you were getting around anybody's if you could get to their outside quarter. Inside, as you saw numerous times, whenever I tried to dive in on him, it just wouldn't stick. So, yeah, that's a heck of a race. I'm quite pleased.
Yeah, Garrett, good job on the win, man. Congratulations. Man, I saw you and Alan got into had the little incident there. It took Alan out of contention. But I don't know, give me your thought process on that. I mean, you're a playoff driver. You're running in second place at a time, so you've definitely punched your ticket into next week. It seemed a little risky to me to push that issue right there, but go ahead and give me your thoughts on it.
You're exactly right. It was old tires, and I knew that if I stayed in second behind him, that I was going to lose second to Jonah on the outside with fresh tires on the 48 as well. So it wasn't a preservation so much of second place as it was a preservation of probably a top five, because if Jonah gets around me, Charles Stevens is up close behind him, and I didn't want to lose that many points.
Fair enough. Again, great run tonight. Congratulations on that. Got anybody you'd like to thank? Sponsors, shout outs?
Absolutely, of course. I want to thank, as always, Kinder Farm and Ranch. We've been having some pretty good luck here recently. Even with the number change, the lucky number 13, we're still running pretty good in this series. So can't complain. Glad to have them on board. Of course, they're all at the lake right now. I'm going to see them tomorrow. I think they're all watching on their cell phones sitting in the camper. So hi, how y'all doing? See y'all soon. Of course, thank Reaper Racing, everybody over at Full Send as well. We kind of had a conglomeration of different teams that I was hanging out with tonight. So shout out to all those guys. We all worked really well together. Once again, shout out to Jonah. Want to thank Magic Mike and Phil for sponsoring the series. Of course, Flexible Freight Solutions, the sponsor of the series. Shout out to those guys as well. Sherry, I think you said you were watching. Sherry, how you doing? And of course, y'all up in the booth. That was my thank you list is getting longer and longer as the weeks go. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but I'm starting to remember more people as I go.
Look at that, man.
Good job, Garrett. Good job, man.
That Oklahoma public education is paying off for you, Garrett.
Well, it was Oklahoma 1-2 tonight. Y'all got another Oklahoma boy right there.
Fair enough, man. Hey, man. Brother, congratulations on a great win this evening. Congratulations on moving on to the round of 8 next week at Auto Club.
Guys, appreciate it.
All right,
As we go hunting for Jonah Colbert, where's Jonah at? Everybody.
Uh-oh.
Well, he's not sitting. Oh, there he is. He's in Rebels Race Comms. Took me a second to find him, but we found him. So we'll move him up here, and we'll talk to our second place finisher. Hey, Jonah, Pat, and Jamie up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How's it going?
Well, not too bad, man. You had a heck of a race this evening. I didn't have to battle it out there for 80 laps here at Legacy Phoenix at an ARCA car, so my night was a lot easier than yours, my friend. But a strong car all night long, and it came down to a little bit of those long runs and then a little bit of some cautions there at the end. So take me through your race, brother, and how you brought that car home in second place.
Oh man, it was just it was a really good race there with Kinder. He was real fast. I was fast, and we were just. It came down to whoever made a mistake. I mean, I'd get a little bit of a lead, and then you make one little slip up, and he catches you, and then he'd slip up, and then I'd slip up. We just kind of back and forth, and ultimately it just came down to those cautions there at the end. If he hadn't got that Warnecke sideways there, I thought we maybe had something for him, but cautions breed cautions, and it just didn't bounce our way tonight. So.
Yeah, Jonah, man, congratulations. That was a great run. I really enjoyed watching how you were attacking this racetrack. You're taking a really high arc into one when you were out front by yourself. You were slinging that back end around like it was on dirt. So do you know, or is this like a favorite track of yours? Because you were definitely running with some confidence.
I love these little one-off tracks like this that are just unique. Phoenix, Iowa. There's a few different ones, but the turn one, it's almost a double apex, and on the legacy track like this, that turn two wall really sticks out. It'll get you if you're not paying attention. So my whole strategy was to enter in high and cut it down low and just drive off as straight as I could, and it really seemed to work and help the tires most of the night. But and then turn three was just long and flat, and you just had to hold it and hold it and hold it. And the more patient you were with turn three, the better runoff you'd get. So, but yeah, it's a fun track. It's one of my favorite.
All right, man. Congratulations on your finish. Great win, or great run for second place. You're moving on to next week for the round of 8 at Auto Club Speedway. Looking forward to that one. So, anybody you'd like to thank? Sponsors, shout outs?
Just give you guys a shout out for doing what y'all do. Y'all put on great broadcasts, man. It's fun to watch these back every week, especially with the family. And we really appreciate everything y'all do. And shout out to Kinder for good side by side racing there. So hope everybody enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, man. We had an absolute blast, and if you go back and watch this broadcast, you're going to listen to a lot of us laughing because Jamie had one heck of a story for this evening's broadcast. You're going to have to check that one out.
Will do, guys. Will do. See you next week.
All right. Congratulations again, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, anybody that goes back and watches this one's going to pee themselves. I still don't know where you came up with this stuff, Jamie. But good stuff, man. Good stuff. So let's grab our third place finisher, Charles Stevens. Hey, Charles, Pat, and Jamie up at the booth. You got a copy?
I got it.
Well, heck of a race this evening, man. It didn't seem like we called your name too much there up until the end, and then you snuck that 88 car home in third position. So take us through your night and how you brought home that podium finish.
Yeah, in the beginning of the night, I should say in that first long green flag run, my car got real tight. And now, after that last caution, I took a gamble and I turned back my brake bias a little bit to try to get a little bit more looser getting into the corner, and I think that helped out a lot. It took off pretty good there, and then we got all them late cautions at the end, and basically from there I was just trying to hold on to try to do as best as I could to try to get a podium finish.
Well, you did a great job, Charles, and this is starting to become routine, man. You've been putting some good runs together lately. So how are you feeling going into next week? You are moving on as part of the Final 8 going to Auto Club. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm actually stoked about it, man. I had that was leading coming to the white flag last week with Kinder and got into a mishap and ended up finishing 22nd. So I was actually 9th looking into this week. So I was just trying to put a good finish together there to try to help me move forward and hopefully move on and see another day.
All right, man. Again, congratulations. Great run tonight. Do you got anybody you want to thank? Sponsors, shout outs?
I just want to give a shout out to my team at Big Fish Motorsports, Logan, Spencer, everyone else that helps us out, and especially my wife and son for allowing me to race every weekend.
Right on, man. Right on.
Yeah, man. Well, congratulations on that third place finish. Congratulations on moving to the round of 8. And we'll see you next week at Auto Club Motor Speedway.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Yeah, Jamie, another great night here this evening. Guys put on
yes.
Guys put on a great show, and a lot of fun to see there. You know, as we kind of take a look at tonight's finishes, Garrett Kinder bringing home that win was for Reaper Racing in the number 13 car. Jonah Colbert, always great to talk to him. Coming home in second place. Charles Stephen rounded out our top 3 in the 88. Todd Schott, stayed out there at the end and made it work for him. Brought that number 426 Dirt Affliction car home in fourth. And Mickey Isaac, man, we talked about it before. He was sitting back there 10th to 15th place for the longest time, and lo and behold, like you said, hey, it's time to cash checks, and Mickey was coming to get his.
Absolutely. And Mickey will be moving on as part of the 8 next week. So expect to see the same.
Yeah, and William Griffith bringing that number 12 car home in 6th position. Josh Thompson in that 33, finishing 7th. Christian Deadman in his first race out here that we've seen, coming home in 8th position. Brandon Wallace in that 99, bringing it home in 9th. Joaquin Meza, great top 10 finish for him in that Oval Addicts Racing number 92. Philip, the Hitman Manzo, coming home in 11th position. Chuck Feltz in that number 75 car, coming home in 12th. Alan Wernicke recovers a little bit there, brings that car home in 13th position, and guarantee he'd like a redo there a little bit and get a better finish. Jason Lottridge coming home in 14th, Eric Adcock in 15th. And that kind of rounds out our top 15, so our field is going to be set. They'll make the announcements coming up here over the next day of what our playoff drivers are going to look like going into Auto Club Motor Speedway, and can't wait to call the race next week, Jamie, at that big 2-mile track.
Yeah, it's always provides good racing there at Auto Club. You got probably about 3 different lines that these guys will be able to use. A lot like Michigan, and they put on a pretty good race there just a few weeks ago. So I'm looking forward to it, and I think it's going to be an exciting race.
Yep, and so for us here at the Rebels Racing Network, big thank you to everybody that tunes in and watches every week. And be sure to check us out at GoatLockerRacing.com or check us out on Facebook at Goat Locker Racing. Tune in to our Twitch channel for when we're racing. We are the sponsors of the Extreme Xfinity Series, and we have our truck series on Thursday evenings. A lot of great sponsors to thank from the Goat Locker side of things, from Travis Lee Creative to Gill Insurance Advisors to Jam Printing and Promotions, to our brothers and sisters over here at the Original Rebels Racing League. A big thank you to them, and a big thank you to Phil and Magic Mike here for putting on a great series and allowing us to call it. So we'll see you all next week.